Alright, substitution is a method for solving for two variables to solve for x and y. And it's a lot like the equal values method, which is in the last video. And it works like this. You're going to get two equations for two lines. And one of the lines, let's say it's like y equals 3x minus 5. So this is some line on a graph. And then the other equation I'll give you is more like 2y minus 4x equals 2. If you look at these equations, they're definitely different. The first one is in that y equals mx plus b mode, where I can really quickly look at it and be like, oh yeah, growth in y-intercept, slope in y-intercept's right there in front of me. But the other equation, it's kind of messed up. It's all scrambled up. You got x's and y's on one side, numbers mixed around. If you had to graph this, it might be kind of hard to graph it real quickly. So we got a strategy. If we want to know where do these graphs, these two lines cross, we can solve it using a method called substitution. And here's how it kind of works. I'm going to circle this y. It's all by itself here. According to this, y equals 3x plus 5, or 3x minus 5. So I'm going to circle the 3x minus 5. In class, I sometimes say we're putting them in bubbles. These two bubbles are equal to each other. Y and 3x minus 5, they're the exact same thing. That's why there's an equal sign here. They're equal. So if I want to, I can go down here and find what matches. Well, here's a y. These y's are the same. And if y equals 3x minus 5, then there's nothing that says I can't turn this y into an empty bubble. Now if I do that, I'm going to copy everything else. So I'm going to take all this equation here, like the 2 that was in front of the y, I'll put it here. The minus 4x, I'll put it here. And the equals 2. Copying all this extra stuff. But instead of writing a y, I'm going to fill the y in with 3x minus 5. I'm going to replace it. I'm going to substitute in for it, 3x minus 5. And then if you're asked to solve this thing, okay, we can do that. First step is always to do the parentheses. We're going to do 2 times 3 and 2 times 5. Use our distributive property. 2 times 3 is 6x, minus 2 times 5 is 10. And then copy the rest of this, minus 4x equals 2. Okay. How about add the 10 over, plus 10. Flip it over to a positive. 2 plus 10 is 12. So I have a 6x and a minus 4x. 6x minus 4x equals 12. Okay, 6 minus 4 is 2. So I have 2x equals 12. Well, I'm about done. All I got to do is divide by 2 on both sides. Now I'm going to get x is going to equal 12 divided by 2, which is 6. So if someone asks you what x equals, no problem, it's 6. And if someone asks you what y equals, you would have to do a little bit of more work to figure that out. So I'm going to write over here, solve for y. And solving for y is just like the equal values method. If you watched the last video, you're basically going to go back and you go to the start and you look at the two equations you started with and you can pick one of them. You can pick either one, it doesn't matter. I like to pick the first equation that we bubbled, the y equals 1. It's usually the easier one, but you can pick both and get the right answer still. So if y equals 3x minus 5, and we just got the answer as x equals 6, I'm going to circle the x and turn it into a 6. I'm going to substitute 6 in for x. So I'm going to have 3 times 6 minus 5 equals y. Well, 3 times 6, okay, that's 18. And 18 minus 5, I can do that, that's 13. 18 minus 5 is 13. So y is going to equal 13. Now I got my two answers. I've solved the system. I've got a 6 and a 13. If somebody said, where do these two lines, these things up here, cross? You'd say at the point 6, 13 on the graph. And that would be your answer. So substitution is all about replacing a variable, and we circle. I sometimes in class a lot will say it's the bubble method. You're bubbling things up.